Welcome back to a new video, and in today's video, we are going to be giving every single NFL quarterback in the league their Madden ratings going into next year. This is all the quarterbacks in the league, starters, bench players. Tom Brady at the bottom right there, he's not going to be ranked because he's retired, obviously. There's also some names that maybe aren't like, they're kind of non-existent, so maybe I'll take in a player that, like Brock Purdy, that isn't in this list for like Trey Lance, because Brock Purdy's more productive than Trey Lance so far in their career. But nonetheless, let's get straight into the video. I hope you guys all are having a wonderful day. Again, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are not yet subscribed, because we are currently at 492 subscribers. We are so close to 500, and that's going to be halfway to 1,000. So if you're new and you like to comment, please be sure to subscribe and get us to that 500 threshold. That'd be amazing. The support's been incredible. Thank you guys so much. So if you guys don't know what Madden is, I don't know how you guys wouldn't, especially being in like an NFL channel like I am, but Madden is the NFL video game. It's what the NFL ranks. 99 is the best rating, and then it goes down from there. And these are the tiers that I have. I have 92 plus, so 92 or above. I have 87, 92, 81, 86, 68, 80, and 75 or below. This is based on my predictions. If you guys don't know what Madden is, you'll know the ratings. Also, Madden people's ratings are terrible. They don't know how to be accurate. So I'm going to try to be as accurate as I can with giving people my Madden ratings. This is based on going into next year. So potential comes into play, but also like just overall how they've been playing. So let's get straight into the video. And the first quarterback we have is Aaron Rodgers. I'm giving Aaron Rodgers a 90. Straight out of 90. That's fine. Aaron Rodgers deserves to be in that 90-plus tier. But with how we played last year, I can't really put him in that 92 plus. Actually, I need to change this to 93 plus, because that's my fault. Because that's 92 right there. But I would say 90, because although I think Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback, he did not show it last year. I know it's not his fault. It's the weapons. It's the team. But still, for an amazing quarterback like that, he should have done better for his circumstances. So I'm going to put him in a 90 overall. 90 overall is still a very good rating, though. Next, we have Baker Mayfield. I'm putting Baker in 76. Now, while I do think Baker Mayfield has potential to still be okay and decent in the league, he hasn't really showed it yet. He's getting a chance to the Bucs now. He's going to have a lot of weapons to throw to, so if he doesn't do good here, this is kind of his final mark. I'm putting Baker at 76, and honestly, that's pretty generous. Next, we have Carson Wentz. 74. He shouldn't be a quarterback anymore. He's not that good. I just don't see him as a starting quarterback anymore. He makes some really, really bonehead mistakes that I don't know how he makes. It's awful. His playmaking and his ability to think in the pocket when he's being pressed is awful, and he'll just make some really bad decisions. Next, we have Dak Prescott. I'm putting Dak at 89. A little lower than Aaron Rodgers, but still pretty high. I know Dak's good. I know it. But last year, he had a really terrible year, honestly, throwing a bunch of picks. Kind of similar scenario to Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers is just a little bit better than him, but I still think Dak's a good quarterback. Next up, we have Daniel Jones, and this will be the first one I'm going to give him some credit. 87. I think Daniel Jones is an 87 rated quarterback. He really showed it last year, especially with not having many weapons. He carried him and Brian DeBull and Saquon carried the Giants to the playoffs. It made him get past the first round. I think Daniel Jones is a big reason behind that, especially having no weapons in the wide receiver or tight end categories. He had a really good year. Now, am I going to put him above Aaron Rodgers or Dak Prescott with that 89 and 90? No. He's not quite there, but an 87 overall, I think, is a very generous rating for him. He's definitely above average quarterback. Next, we have Davis Mills, 70. I don't really care for him anymore. For some reason, like 2 years ago, I thought after he started his first game, he was actually going to be decent. He never actually was, and he never proved himself. And going into this year, he was awful. I mean, terrible. Like, he got benched after 3 or 4 weeks. That's how bad he was. 70 overall. Next, we have Derek Carr. Putting Derek Carr at 85. Does he deserve to be that high? Yes. I think 85 is a good rating for him, and I think the Raiders treat him unfairly. But I don't think going into last year that he had a better season than Daniel Jones, and that's just me, my opinion. Now, do I think he can thrive with the Saints in that organization? Yes. Do I think the Saints are going to have a really good year? Yes. But currently, right now, as a quarterback, he cannot be in that 87 to 92 range. I'm putting Derek Carr at 85. Next up, we have Deshaun Watson. Right now, I'm putting Deshaun Watson at 80. Now, I'm putting him at 80, the high 80, because I know he has the potential, but he looked awful last year. I mean, he was terrible. He looked like just garbage. He looked garbage last year with his few bit of games. Honestly, I think Jacoby Brissett should have started for the rest of the year, because he played that much better than Deshaun Watson. Now, do I think Deshaun Watson has potential to become like an 86 or above? Yes. Right now, though, I'm putting him at 80. Next, we have Drew Lock, 60, 68. Like, he just shouldn't be a quarterback in the NFL. He's a backup right now, and he's just not that good anymore. Just terrible, honestly. Nothing much to talk about there. Next, we have Jalen Hurts. This is my first 93 plus. I have Jalen Hurts at a 93 overall. Yes, I could put him higher, but if we're talking about the best quarterbacks in the NFL, man, he had one good year, and I'm happy. Breaking news, not breaking news, but it was a couple days ago. He did get an extension, a lot of money. I think it was like 5 years, 255 million or something like that. It was crazy. It was like 75 million a year, or no, sorry, not like 55, 60 million a year. So happy for him, but I can't put him any higher than 93 right now because he only had one really good year. Yes, last year he was an MVP candidate, but he wasn't that good a couple years ago. So right now, I'm saving. I'm not gonna overhype him yet. I'm putting Jalen Hurts at a 93. Next, we have Jameis Winston. I think Jameis is gonna be a 78. Honestly, Jameis is, I think, underrated. Now, do I think he does make a lot of interceptions? Yes, but also he can really throw the ball, and I think the Saints really didn't give him a chance this year. And I'd love to see him go somewhere else where he's gonna get more opportunities. Next up, we have Jared Goff. I'm putting Jared Goff at a high percentage. And I'm not even going to lie to you. I think he had a way better season than Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, and Daniel Jones. But we're talking about right now, I'm putting him at an 88. So one above Daniel Jones. You know what? I'm going to move Dak to an 88. I'm putting Jared Goff at an 89. He really deserves it. Now, what I will say is the longevity and everything like that and the veteran presence of Aaron Rodgers is why he's going to be ahead. But Jared Goff's a really underrated quarterback, man. He threads that needle, and I've always had confidence in Jared Goff, and he's finally given me that confidence. And I think that Detroit's gonna have a really good year behind him. Next, we have Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm gonna put Jimmy G at 83. Now, was it a downgrade from Derek Carr to Jimmy G? Yes, they're in the same category. Jimmy G's just a little bit lower, but Jimmy G is gonna give you a win. He's gonna give you a consistency, and he can still throw the ball, even though he is getting older and he's not as good. He's a guy that's gonna force you to get a win. And I think that's what you need. That's all you want as a GM looking for a quarterback. You just want your quarterback to give you the win. And I think Jimmy G will do a great job at that. Next, we have Joe Burrow. I'm going to give him a 96. Putting him really high. Now, that 99 range is for one quarterback and one quarterback only. In this based on the quarterbacks, it's pretty obvious. But I think Joe Burrow deserves a 96. He's that good, man. He's so incredibly good. Just really good pocket presence, really good accuracy, really good throw power. Doesn't make really many mistakes, and overall, he really showed why he was the number one pick in that draft. Easy 96 for me. Next we have Josh Allen, and I'm not even gonna lie, Josh Allen's just a step down from Joe Burrow. 95. He is there. He's definitely there. I just think Joe Burrow is a better quarterback, in my opinion, because of last year how it looked. Josh Allen had some really bad games, and had some other games where he went crazy. Now I will say he obviously with his feet is better than Joe Burrow, but I overall think Joe Burrow in the pocket and throwing is better than Josh Allen. In my opinion, throwing is a little more important than running, and I think Joe Burrow deserves to be a little higher than Josh Allen based on last year. But I think Josh Allen is still a 95 because he's incredible. Next, we have Russell Wilson. I'm putting Russell Wilson at 86. Now, what I will say with Russell Wilson, I'm putting him at 86 because I do think he has the potential. I think it wasn't his fault last year. I think it was Nathaniel Hackett's fault. But in my opinion, I mean, come on. Russell Wilson is still a decent quarterback. Now, has he fallen off from his years in Seattle? Yes. But he's also getting older. It makes sense. I think he's going to have a really good bounce back year. I have him being maybe the most improved player. Maybe. I don't see it quite, but maybe. Next, we have Justin Fields. I'm putting Justin Fields at an 82. Yes, I know Justin Fields has the potential. I know how good he ended the season. But all he does is run. He needs to work on his throwing before I give him a chance. Like, he's that 87, 92, 93 plus threshold. I'm putting him at 82, and I honestly think that's a little too high. But I'm giving him because of how good he finished on the season. I mean, brother, his rushing is amazing. He's basically a younger Lamar Jackson, and I think he's incredible. I just think, again, I'm not going to jump the gun on him too early. Next, we have Justin Herbert. I'm putting Justin Herbert at a 92. I don't think he's quite 93 plus. I'm not going to lie. Based on last year, he definitely took a step down, but I still think he's an amazing quarterback. He's definitely better than Aaron Rodgers and stuff like that. He deserves to be a 92. I think he's that good. Really good throw power, really good accuracy. Needs to work on his pocket presence a little more. And also, he's underrated for speed. Like, he's actually got a decent amount of speed. Now, I will say about Justin Herbert, He has fallen off a little bit since his rookie and second year, but I still think Justin Herbert's an incredible quarterback. Next up, we have Kenny Pickett. I'm putting Kenny Pickett at an 80. I'm gonna give him benefit of the doubt. I'm putting him in that 80 range because I do think he has amazing potential, just like Trevor Lawrence, who their first year wasn't great, and then their sophomore year they took off. And same with that's what Trevor did. Well, I do think Kenny Pickett has potential. This last year he played terrible, but I'm gonna put him at 80 because he still has potential. Next, we have Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins is an 87. Now, I think you got to give Kirk Cousins credit because Kirk Cousins and Daniel Jones are honestly very, very, very similar play styles. They both play quite similar. And at his age, and Kirk probably had one of his best years of his career. So I'm going to give Kirk an 87. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Very underrated quarterback. Next, we have Kyler Murray. I'm putting Kyler Murray at 81. I'm sorry. I can't jump the gun on him. He just argues with the coach so much. He's not even that good anymore. He gets injured a lot, and until he can be healthy and go back to what he did, some amazing games in his freshman and sophomore year, he's gonna stay at an 81. Next up, we have Lamar Jackson. I'm putting Lamar Jackson at 91. One step lower than Herbert because I think Herbert had the better year still this year. I think Lamar was hurt a lot. I do think Lamar's still an incredible quarterback. I think he can get back to that 93 plus area. But right now, when we're talking about him, you gotta put him only at 91. Next up, we have Mac Jones. Mac Jones is a 77. I don't have much faith in Mac. He's not that good anymore. And I think his first year was good. But now, I mean, are the Patriots even going to use him next year? So I think 77 is a fine rating for him. He's just a little below average. Next up, we have Marcus Mariota. I'm putting Marcus Mariota at a 69. He's not that good. I mean, yes, he was able to score points in the Falcons, but it wasn't his fault. It was more him just checking the ball down to Cordell Patterson or Tyler Algier, Drake London. But he gave those short passes, and he wasn't even that good. And I think that's not the reason why they had so many wins. I think it was the defense, and I think it was the players around him. As a quarterback, he's nothing special, and he should be out of this league. Next up, we have Matt Ryan. I hate to do it. I'm going to put Matt Ryan at 75. I'm not putting him below 70. I'm sorry. He's at 75 because I do think that his career, we got to give him some notice. We got to give him some praise for what he's done this career. But he was awful last year. He was terrible. And honestly, 75 would be a little generous, but I like Matt Ryan, so I'm putting him at 75. Next up, we have Matthew Stafford, 84, because, again, I think he does have the potential to be in that 90 range, but the last year when he played, he was awful, and then he got injured, so we need to see something else come from the Rams and him going into next year, or else it ain't going to change, but currently, Stafford's an 84, I think. Next, we have Andy Dalton, he's kind of similar to Jameis Winston. I'm going to put him at 76. You know what? I'm going to give him credit. 79. Because I do think I now realize he was a starter for most of the year, and he's going to get a starting role in Carolina, right? Isn't that where he is now? Carolina? I think so. Um, and oh wait, is it Carolina? I don't really know. I think it is Carolina, but I'm not sure. But I think Aaron Dalton's still a good quarterback. I think he's a veteran presence, but he is most likely a backup and not a starter. Next, we have Mitch Trubisky, 72. Like, he has played some games where he's looked good, but most often he's pretty garbage, and that's a pretty easy rating for me. Next up, we have our only 99 quarterback. We have Patrick Mahomes. He's 99. MVP, Finals MVP, totally deserves it. Super Bowl winner for the Chiefs. Carried them. Amazing. Not much to say. He's the best quarterback in the league. Next one. Next, we have Ryan Tannehill. Putting Ryan Tannehill at an 80 overall. Now, he's definitely fallen off. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I think he is a very, very good quarterback. I'm putting him at 80. Next up, we have Sam Darnold, 75. Well, I do think Sam has had some good games. I mean, now him and the Niners, I feel like hopefully Sam Darnold doesn't start with us because I think he'll make some really bad mistakes. I think that's kind of the thing that everyone thinks of him. Now, what I will say is he's probably a better first rounder than Zach Wilson, so you got that working for you. But yeah, Sam Darnold's not that good. Next, we have Trevor Lawrence. I'm actually going to give this guy. So right now, I want to have 5 in the 93 pluses. I'm giving Trevor Lawrence a 93. And honestly, here's what I'll do. I'll put Burrow at a 96, Allen at a 95, Hurts at 94, and then Lawrence at 93, because that's kind of how I rank them. I'm giving Lawrence a 93 because of how good of a season he actually had with the Jaguars this year. He carried them to winning the AFC South. They also helped them win a playoff game, which they haven't done in so long. I think Trevor is an amazing quarterback, a quarterback that a lot of people kind of like doubted on because of how bad his first year was, and now he's showing why he's actually a good quarterback. 93. I'm giving it to Trevor. I have confidence in him. Next, we have Trey Lance. I'm giving Trey Lance a 77. Might be a little generous also, but I do think he has a lot of potential. He just has gotten injured so much, so he hasn't actually been able to use it. He should be a starting quarterback for the Niners because Brock Purdy's still recovering. We'll see who actually starts. I just hope it's not Sam Darnold. Please don't be Sam Darnold. Please don't be Sam Darnold. Next, we have Tua. I'm putting Tua at an 86. Well, I do think Tua is a good quarterback. He gets injured a lot, and he's kind of inconsistent sometimes. And also, sometimes, in my opinion, him as a quarterback, him being so highly ranked is more because of his targets and his weapons than him by himself. I'm still giving him a good rating. 86 is a very, very solid rating. He's just not, in my opinion, a top quarterback in the league. Next, we have Zach Wilson, 71. He's just not good anymore. Was he ever good, honestly? I don't really need to talk about this anymore. 71. Next up, we have the couple Atlanta Falcons quarterbacks for next year. Here's what I got. Desmond Ridder, 78. I think he's got a lot of potential. Right now, though, he's a 78. I'm not going to jump the gun on him. Travis Heineke, 78. I'm going to give them both the same ratings because I think that they are both very similar players. Heineke actually is a very, very consistent quarterback and a very underrated quarterback. I don't know why the Commanders didn't use him more and they instead go with Wentz, which was a terrible idea by them. And last but not least, we have Geno Smith. I'm putting Geno Smith at an 85. Geno's a great quarterback, but last year was like his only good year. If he can do that again, I think he'll definitely be in that 87 to 92 threshold. But right now, I'm not going to jump the gun on him. I'm going to give him an 85. And then we have Tom Brady there. I'm not going to do it. And that's the end of my video. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Comment down below what you would have given these guys for their Madden ratings. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!